fuck it. This is exactly how I generate $800 to $1,200 for every 100 views that I get on this exact YouTube channel right here. There's no crazy intro. There's no editing. It's literally just me and this Miro board. And I'm going to be going step by step inside of this video. But before we get into it, I want to give you a little bit of a heads up. This video is going to work specifically well, or just it's going to work well for anybody who wants to build a coaching offer, but it's going to work specifically well. And the examples I'm giving in this video are going to be for business coaches specifically, right? If you're teaching any type of business model online, if you're teaching any type of offer that helps people make 10K a month with e-com, real estate, trading, SMMA, AI, or YouTube automation, whatever else that it could be, any type of make money business model, this content strategy is going to work specifically well for you to attract clients for your coaching business. And if you implement it correctly, if you do everything that I tell you to do in this video, there's a very good chance you're going to be able to hit over $100,000 per month with coaching in 2026. So let's dive straight into it. Now, the first thing that I need you to understand, and I need to drill this into your head, is that you need to understand what not to do before you understand what to do. So what do you not do? Well, there's a very simple broken content cycle that I keep seeing way too many people stuck under $30,000 a month run into, and people who've never even coached before, haven't started a coaching business, haven't even posted any content yet, but when they eventually do, run into this exact problem right here. And that's essentially seeing competitors filming content, doing something very similar to them, then posting that content and praying that it does well, right? Think there's no strategy, think it's organic content, it's going to come or it doesn't come. You need to get lucky. And then having no feedback loop, keep doing the same thing for 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years, right? I see some YouTube channels with 3 years with absolutely no direction within their content. And then they wonder why they're not making any money and there's no calls in the calendar. In fact, this is probably you. You probably spend hours on content. You're doing whatever you see people online doing, right? You might see people, running the Instagram profile funnel. And so you start doing the Instagram profile funnel. You start trying to run story sequences, post Instagram reels. You're seeing some popular YouTube formats. So you might start copying them too. And you're spending hours on this process. And then you might be getting some views. You might even be getting a few hundred views, a few thousand views from time to time. But when you check your calendar, it's completely empty, or there's a few appointments with completely broke leads. Then you wonder, well, what's going wrong, right? I see all of my competitors. You see all of your competitors in the industry that know less than you, have less information about the topic than you, but make way more money than you, and you don't understand why. You see all of your competitors hitting 100K a month left and right, and you're stuck here making less than $30,000 a month, and you don't know what the problem is. And that's exactly what I'm going to be telling you inside of this video. See, the biggest problem that you have is that you're looking at funnels and you're looking at processes that work at a completely different scale. See, there's a bunch of gurus on Instagram, they make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month and they preach certain funnels. Let's say, for example, the Instagram funnel, right? They're teaching a system that essentially only starts to work once you're already making $50,000 to $100,000 a month, once you already have a certain infrastructure within your content. But then we see a bunch of coaches under $30,000 a month trying to copy a format like this. Let's say, for example, with the Instagram profile funnel, they're seeing these coaches, right? Even though they say that they don't do these things, they do subconsciously do these things. They're constantly filming B-roll of your life, which isn't feasible for somebody starting out in the info space. They need a luxurious lifestyle. And even if it's not a Lamborghini or a mansion, you can at least see a nice villa in the background, or you can see them in a private boardroom or whatever else that it could be. They're optimizing for views rather than trust. They're consistently traveling, which again ties back to lifestyle. And they're running in-person masterminds and events, and they're using that content to sell you. And when they sell you the program, they're teaching you to do these things. But this is absolutely unrealistic for a coach completely starting out making less than $30,000 a month. Even if you make $100,000 a month in your main business, it makes absolutely no sense to invest this much time and energy into a brand new coaching business that you don't even know is going to work. And so what the approach that I see a lot more people shifting towards, and what I highly recommend, is building a niche YouTube channel just like this one. You don't need any crazy setup. You're literally doing this inside of your office, filming Miro board videos, and this is the only format that you can rip time and time again. It's going to be the perfect foundation for $100,000 a month, because you're going to be able to, essentially showcase, right, that the process works. Go through these Miro boards, constantly build trust, because these videos are so long and you have so much time to build trust with the audience. Then send people to a simple Calendly link, doing it through raw 30-minute breakdowns, right? No crazy editing, no equipment, literally just you, your screen recorder, plus Miro boards. And you're working 3 to 4 hour workdays maximum on the very high end once you start getting to $50,000 a month. But when you're starting out, filming raw videos like this is extremely simple. and is really only going to require around 5 hours per week of your time to make these videos right here. And it's stupid simple funnel, right? It's one link. You can go to a Calendly, you can go to a simple VSL page, and you don't need to worry about competitors stealing your clients. YouTube automatically finds your ICP for you because the algorithm is so good, and a few hundred views can make you more than $5,000. Where I've gotten to the point where I'm making $800 to $1,200 to $1,200 for every 100 views that I get. And I'm absolutely not saying that the Instagram profile funnel doesn't work, because it absolutely works. And we do it for a bunch of our clients and we make hundreds of thousands of dollars per month with. But it's just absolutely not realistic for somebody starting out. The much more realistic approach is to take a funnel like this, scale it to $100,000 per month, get proof of concept within a business model by posting breakdown videos, right? Start it off with, let's say, for example, a simple YouTube channel, and then break into the more lifestyle stuff if you want to, right? If you want to scale to $300,000 a month, if you want to scale to $400,000 a month, then obviously that's going to require more things like consistently filming B-roll and running all of these ads and constantly traveling and doing in-person masterminds and filming that in X, Y, and Z. But it's simply just not feasible for somebody starting out. And so in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can create breakdown videos for people within your industry to create trust and get people to book calls with you and book calls for your coaching offer based on the information that they're seeing you present through breakdown videos like this, and it genuinely being over information and not just a certain lifestyle. Now, before I actually get into it, I want to prove to you that I actually know what I'm talking about. My name's Alexi. I'm the CEO of the Info Accelerator, which is the company I've been building for the past 2 years, where we've scaled over 50 coaches to 6 and 7 figures. And yes, we've scaled a bunch of coaches with the lifestyle content to coaches with hundreds of thousands of followers doing 6 figures per week. And I can tell you for a fact that that works, but it just doesn't work when you're starting out. So absolutely, am I not hating on it? It's not to disrespect anybody. This is simply just to tell you what's working for people starting out. And obviously for my coaching business, if you look at this channel right here, I have 4,500 subscribers, which I was able to hit $58,000 a month with and make over $300,000 in net profit last year. And now we're doing over $20,000 a week because I'm going a lot harder on content right here. And this has obviously gotten me to the point where I'm making very, very easily $800 to $1,200 per 100 views on my videos. And essentially it just comes down to making simple videos, right? You don't want to be implementing this crazy system. It comes down to doing what's proven to work when we're starting out, when we're going from 0 to 30K a month to $100,000 a month. Whether they want to admit it or not, they have used or are using the system to scale where they are. If you look at all of the coaches making over $300,000 a month or $200,000 a month that are preaching the Instagram profile funnel or whatever funnel that it could be, I guarantee you that if you go to their YouTube channel and you see how they started out and went from 0 to $100,000 per month, it was consistently through the micro niche YouTube channel, because this is what is proven to work to take coaching business from 0 to 1, and I'm going to break it down step by step. So the first thing that you need to understand is that we're not building a regular YouTube channel. We're going niche specific. If you're doing a dropshipping offer as an example, you're going to do dropshipping specifically for supplements. We're always going a step deeper. This is going to be the most important thing about the strategy, is that we want to do deep. I'm helping people scale info products, which is already extremely deep, but then I'm going a step deeper. High ticket info products with a micro niche YouTube channel specifically for people under 30K a month who want to build up to that first initial 100K a month. Nothing beyond that, literally just getting that initial 100K per month. And this is following Roger's synthesis, where we're essentially taking a small segment, which is easier to reach and convert, especially with limited resources. Then we're becoming the early adopter, where we act as advocates who signal value to the broader audience, and then focus on the approach, help refine the product market fit and messaging before actually scaling. And the deceiving problem is that they keep seeing people, villas, cars, watches, but that simply doesn't work when you're starting out. So without more intro, let's dive straight into it. Now, let's start off with what doesn't work with the micro niche YouTube funnel when you're implementing this, and what you don't actually need. You don't need a fancy lifestyle. You don't need a production team. You don't need to rent a villa in Marbella. You don't need a $5,000 to put into ads. You don't need to work 10-hour workdays. Absolutely not. All you need to do is film these Mario Board Google Doc videos. Do it from OBS or whatever recording studio, OBS Studio, Loom, whatever you need. You just need something to record your screen. It's a lot less saturated and clarity over the niche because we're going into a sub niche and it's not Instagram, so we can be a lot more niche. We have a clear positioning within the market, and we want to create content that actually genuinely converts people. And again, this is going to be a lot more simpler and you're not going to need that much time. I run this micro niche YouTube channel, which generates around $50,000 per month while being in school for 8 hours every single day, which is absolutely insane. But this is because this type of content takes me little to no time and I can just bang out videos left, right, have these videos banged out. Niche videos, like I said again, and they create the foundation to scaling to over $100,000 per month, right? So the first step of creating these micro niche YouTube videos is detecting market outliers. And essentially what we're doing is we're reverse engineering structural performance variables, right? This could be anything from the creativity to the video, the psychological part of the video, or the statistical part of the video. But what we're doing is we want to figure out exactly why that video performed so well instead of any other video inside of its niche, right? Why did this video called speedrunning cold calls from $0 to first sale, I show everything, perform 100 times better than the average video on that guy's YouTube channel? We want to figure out exactly what variables play into that. The next step is to identify these variables, right? It could be a macro concept structure, right? What was the underlying promise of the video? You cannot out-package a bad concept. Most creators skip this and wonder why nothing works, right? What is the concept of the video, right? For example, with this video right here, speedrunning cold calls from $0 to first sale, I show everything. It's a very interesting concept, right? Because a lot of beginners starting out, which is probably who this person wants to attract, are trying to do the same thing, but they can't crack it. And this guy just dropped a 2-hour-long video breaking down exactly how he did it. And so it's immediately, even without a fancy thumbnail, even without a fancy title, it's a good video to begin with. We actually genuinely want to make good videos, and the promise has to be something that people actually want. The next step is packaging the content, because now that we have a good video now that we have a good idea for a video, we want to package it in the right way to get even more views out of it. Now, this is going to come down to the title and the thumbnail, and you want to ask yourself the question, how was the idea translated into a clickable title and thumbnail pair? Now, where most creators compete is where we essentially plateau. And without it, great ideas die on watch, and you need to earn the clicks. So what I highly recommend is looking at your competitors, looking what they're doing for their titles and thumbnails, and especially with these niche YouTube videos where they're already micro-boarded videos, it's very common for people within the industry to just directly copy each other with titles and thumbnails. Obviously, with making tweaks, you don't want to directly copy, you want to make some small tweaks, but you're essentially copying the format of the title and the thumbnail. The next step is creating the information sequence of that YouTube video itself. Now, you want to ask yourself, how was the content sequenced to maintain viewers' retention? Because click means nothing if the viewer leaves in 60 seconds. If they leave in 60 seconds, you're not even gonna have time to sell the person. They need to stay for at least 10 minutes, 20 minutes for a few videos consistently until you're able to get them to take that next step, to book that call with you, to pay the payment link, whatever else that it could be that you are selling. And you essentially want to get their attention within the first 20 to 30 seconds of the video. For example, if the video is called how to make $10,000 per month with dropshipping, which obviously wouldn't be that good of a title, but just for the sake of the example, within the first 20 to 30 seconds, you need to validate the fact, okay, this is the title, how to make 10K per month with dropshipping. In the first 30 seconds, you need to let them know that this is exactly what you're going to be speaking about inside of this video and nothing else. And from that point, you can actually turn these viewers into believers. And then the last step of the process is authority positioning. Now, you need to figure out what signals made the audience believe the creator was worth listening to. And this is going to be part of the conversion infrastructure. So the viewer is deciding whether to watch and buy simultaneously. And credibility does the selling. So you constantly want to be putting in little nuggets. If you speak about a specific concept, you can speak a client that you've implemented it for, and you want to do very indirect CTAs where you're speaking about your credibility. And once you speak about your credibility enough times, once you speak about your results enough times, they're eventually going to figure out themselves, how do I actually find this guy's funnel? How do I work with him? I need to work with this guy. I need this guy to do what he did for his clients for me. Now, the next step of the process is differentiating variables, right? This is not even half of the information that goes into making over $100,000 per month online with a niche YouTube channel, right? The stuff that you're seeing right here. But you need to find a way to differentiate yourself. And the only way you're going to be able to do this is by extensive market research. This is my market research doc for my offer, where I went extremely in depth on what I can do within my industry to create the maximum conversion rate for these niche YouTube videos that I'm making. Even though they seem like extremely simple Mario boards, the exact pain points I'm hitting and the things that I'm saying and everything that goes into this video is extremely intentional to convert viewers. Because again, if you don't do this and you don't be extremely intentional about what you're saying inside of your videos, how you're selling it, you're not going to be hitting $800 to $1,200 per 100 views. And it essentially comes down to getting the viewers to know you, like you within your content. And the second they trust you is going to be the second that they're going to pull out their credit cards and actually pay you. So you want to create exceptional videos, and creating exceptional videos is going to come down to three things: the content angle, the storytelling, and the unique mechanism which you're presenting within your content. Now, in terms of content angles, essentially what you want to do is you want to take, like I said before, these saturated angles, right? These big outliers that you're seeing within the market, because obviously these big outliers are going to be saturated. And then you want to take your own new market angle, right? Your own idea, and turn it into a common concept, which is usually going to be the exact middle ground which you want to be at if you want to start getting decent views on YouTube. In terms of storytelling during the videos, we're essentially just going from problem to struggle to discovery to the result of the video itself. And in terms of presenting the unique mechanism, which you constantly want to be speaking about, because if you're not speaking about the unique mechanism, then people aren't going to want it. For example, for me, I keep bringing up the micro niche YouTube funnel because that's exactly what I sell and what I help people implement on a consulting basis. And so if I don't keep speaking about it, then nobody's going to be interested in it. And when I do bring it up, people are going to be like, what are you even talking about? When I bring it up, people need to know exactly what it is, how it works, and it's just going to come down to if you want to implement it with my help or not. So the unique mechanism is going to be the specific underlying reason or system that explains why something works, turning a general idea into a distinct framework that makes a solution feel logical, credible, and uniquely yours. And so this goes into the raw video style. Now, we're essentially going to be creating unique speaking styles within the video, and this is going to be based on the ICP, because again, this is another way where we can differentiate ourselves. If everybody's speaking super boring, they're just going for the normal Maya board, that they're all the same, right? You can differentiate yourself this way. You can do it to increase your retention, create your personal brand, right? Associate that type of speaking technique with your personal brand, and obviously create trust and authority. And I'm not saying that you need to be speaking the same way that I'm speaking. All I'm saying is that you want to find your own way and do it consistently. Now, in terms of creating the call to action inside of the videos, all you want to do here is focus on the frequency of the call to action, right? The width is not directly going to be equal to the amount of money that you're going to make from it. You want to focus on the way that you present your CTA. And there's three types of CTAs which you can use within YouTube content. There's the indirect CTA, the soft CTA, and the hard CTA. Now, with the indirect CTA, it's essentially just going to be a call to action embedded inside storytelling, results, or examples that naturally lead viewers to want the offer without directly being asked. The soft CTA is going to be a subtle call to action that lightly suggests the next step without pressure, usually framed as an optional resource or further help. And the hard CTA is going to be towards the end of the video, which is going to be a direct CTA and an explicit call to action that is designed to tell the viewers exactly what to do next. It's going to be booking the call, going to the landing page, opting into the funnel, whatever else that it could be. You're just spending 1 to 2 minutes going super in depth on it. And that's exactly going to be the infrastructure that you need to hit at $100,000 per month. You want to detect the right outliers within the market. You want to identify the reason why those outliers are specifically working, then identify and break it down into different variables so that you can copy it for yourself, and then create clear and indirect, distinct call to actions within your content. But to be completely honest with you, this is only a fraction of what actually makes a good video that you can scale to $100,000 per month, because there's a lot more that goes into it that I unfortunately can't go into this video. So if you want to get the opportunity to work one-on-one with me to properly implement all of this and scale it to over $100,000 per month in the next 90 days, instead of spending the next 1 to 2 years trying to figure it out yourself, and you're either an existing or an aspiring coach, you can simply click the first link in the description. It's going to be a Calendly link where you can book in a one-on-one strategy call, which is completely free, where we're going to give you a 30-minute roadmap where we're essentially going to go over your content and offer, positioning, and use it, then give you a behind-the-scenes look from minute 10 to 20 of the exact micro-niche YouTube strategy and specific insights we're using to scale that we don't give out for free on YouTube, then give you a custom 90-day roadmap for your position specifically, completely for free, And then from that point onwards, if you're interested in working with us one-on-one, then obviously we can speak about that and we can present you the offer. But this is completely free. You can take this from the quote and then, just kind of like run off and do whatever with it, implement it yourself. It's completely free. So if that's something you're interested in doing, click that first link in the description and book your free 45-minute session right now. And if you have any questions regarding anything that I spoke about in this video, you can simply just text me on Instagram. That's going to be everything for this video. Have a good one, guys.